KOIN 6 News This Morning starts right now.
The chief of police got my brother killed. He doesn't care. He shows no emotion at all.
Tensions over the deadly shooting of an unarmed black man in California come to a head. We are tracking a tense situation in Sacramento.
Plus, 2 local women and 3 children die in a California car crash. What we know about the sad story this morning.
And the opioid crisis devastating families and communities.
I went from having a house, a family, kids that I was involved in their life to being on the streets, broke, homeless.
See the steps the state of Oregon is taking to fight the growing epidemic. You're watching KOIN 6 News This Morning. It is Wednesday, March 28th. I'm Ken Boddie.
And I'm Eileen Park, in for Jenny Hansen. We will get to the stories in just a moment, but first, meteorologist Claire Anderson is in the Weather Center with a look at your forecast. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning. Well, we are looking at some drier conditions in the forecast for today. Doppler radar showing a few clouds out there. We do have possibly a little bit of sprinkles to start this morning, mainly up into the foothills and into the mountain range, but that will be it for today, and that will taper off by early this morning if there is anything. As of right now, we do have some visibility issues out towards the McMinnville area, quarter-mile visibility. Everything else is looking okay at this time, but watch for some patchy areas of fog. Currently, temperatures in the upper 40s for Portland as well as Vancouver. Mid-40s, Astoria, Canna Beach, as well as the Tillamook area. 38 degrees for Madras. Forecast for today, a cloudy start. We'll see northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. Temperatures back to seasonal average. More sunshine and 60s in the forecast. More details in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Claire. New this morning, we are learning more about the Portland Police Gang Enforcement Unit, thanks to a report just released by the city auditor's office.
In a scathing report, the audit shows the Portland Police Gang Unit lack of accountability and transparency reduced the public's trust in the police. Cor Harlan is breaking down this report this morning with the help of our media partners at the Portland Tribune. Cor is live with more on this report. Good morning, Cor.
Morning, Eileen. Morning, Ken. This is a pretty important audit that people will be digesting as they wake up this morning, and take note of this, both on KOIN.com and in the Portland Tribune. The title of this, Community Trust in the Police Force. We'll go to the graphic here quickly just to summarize where we're at here. These 2 reports, actually an audit consisting of multiple components, but 2 reports being released this morning. They focus on police traffic stops, police clearance rates, and amongst other things, the effectiveness of the gang enforcement unit. You can read both of these reports in their entirety at KOIN.com, but let me just go through just a couple of items here on the first list in terms of effectiveness of the gang unit here. The gang enforcement team was questioned in these audits released by the city's auditor's office at midnight. One report says that the Police Bureau, and the gang unit in particular, cannot document the results of traffic stops conducted by team officers that disproportionately affect the African American community. That's a big issue for some people. The other said the team has not correctly managed all of its investigations and may have overstated its 2016 clearance rate. So at a time with a new police chief in charge and the Portland Police under scrutiny like never before, these will be interesting reads for a lot of people. In response to this audit, Police Chief Danielle Outlaw says in a response letter, Chief Outlaw thanked the auditor for the contribution there and the recommendations, several of which she says are already being enacted in the Police Bureau. Her response included a 4-page or a 4-point summary of how the Bureau is responding and will respond to these recommendations going forward. So, Ken, again, Portland Police Bureau Gang Unit and the Portland Police Bureau in general in the spotlight a little bit again today as a result of these audits that came out from the city's auditor's office last night, and it will be some interesting reading for folks in the communities, the stakeholder groups, as they relate to the Portland Police and these new audits out this morning. Eileen and Ken?
All right. Thank you very much, Cor.
Well, the gang enforcement team is investigating a shooting in Northeast Portland, and it happened yesterday afternoon on Northeast 11th and Failing Street. Investigators tell us someone in a passing car opened fire on someone inside another vehicle. The car was hit, but the victim was not. They did slam into a telephone pole. Officers are now looking for a dark-colored SUV last seen speeding out of the area.
Tensions continue to rise in Sacramento, California, following the shooting death of a 22-year-old black man. Angry outbursts happened during last night's Sacramento City Council meeting. Stephon Clark was killed March 18th in his grandmother's backyard. Officers fired numerous rounds at Clark, saying they thought he had a gun. However, the only thing they found was a cell phone. The confrontation happened after a neighbor reported that someone was breaking car windows in the area. Sacramento Police Chief Daniel Hahn called for the state's Attorney General to take a look at the incident.
My team and I at the California Department of Justice will do everything in our power to ensure that this investigation is fair, thorough, and impartial.
That this is not just about the death of Stephon Clark. We recognize that there have been other lives lost who also drive your grief and passion for change. You will be heard.
Police hope the investigation will ease the escalating tensions throughout the city. The 2 police officers involved are on paid leave.
Louisiana prosecutors will not file charges against 2 Baton Rouge police officers involved in the 2016 shooting death of Alton Sterling. The state's attorney general says the officers' actions were, quote, well-founded and reasonable. Video of the incident shows Sterling pinned to the ground by the officers before he was shot. There was a struggle between Sterling and the 2 officers before he was pinned to the ground, and the officer said Sterling reached for a gun.
2 women and 3 children from West Lynn are dead after driving off a cliff along the California coast. This happened in Westport, California, about 180 miles north of San Francisco. Pictures from the California Highway Patrol tell the story. An SUV headed south on Highway 1 pulls into a dirt turnout, and that's when the driver heads right over the cliff, plunging about 100 feet onto the rocks. The 2003 GMC landed on its roof. The 3 children on board ejected from the vehicle. There's still no word on their identities.
We'll take a look at these pictures tweeted out overnight by Portland police. Investigators say alcohol is likely to blame for this rollover crash at the intersection of Southeast 50th and Powell, really close to a Burger King drive-thru. You can see in this video from our ODOT cameras, rescue crews rolled the car back over. The crash shut down several lanes of Powell for a few hours, but it is back open now. There are no reports of any serious injuries.
And new overnight, a brush fire in Salem. Our crew in Marion County shot this video just a few hours ago, and you can see a pretty big plume of smoke coming from a wooded area along Interstate 5 near Chemawa Road. We are working to find out more about what caused it.
Governor Kate Brown is issuing an executive order declaring addiction and substance abuse a public health crisis in Oregon. She signed new laws yesterday that will add additional funding to battle the opioid crisis. The main goal is to create a statewide plan around prevention, treatment, and recovery.
My goal is to make sure that folks get the most effective treatment first and the most needed assistance now.
Lawmakers and state agencies say they will continue to look for solutions to end this public health crisis.
Well, we've got some changes to look forward to in the weather, and Claire Anderson is here to talk about it.
That's right. Good morning. We are going to be seeing some warmer temperatures today, increasing sunshine. Currently about 47 degrees, northwest winds right around 6 miles per hour. Taking a look at the rest of our area for this morning, we are going to be seeing conditions not as wet as the last several days. Currently we're at 47 degrees in Portland, 48 degrees for Vancouver, 46 for Scappoose, mid-40s out towards Cannon Beach, and 35 degrees for Bend. The reason for that, we have a big ridge of high pressure that's moving into our area, which means more sunshine and a little bit warmer conditions. So for this morning, not expecting any rain for your morning commute. You might see a sprinkle or two if you are driving up into the Cascades, but that's really the only spot you'll see really any rain. As of right now, your forecast is showing a mix of sun and clouds for this afternoon, a mild evening, temperatures topping out in the upper 50s. We see more sunshine for Thursday in the low 60s. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday looking partly sunny for your Easter weekend.
All right, Claire, thank you very much. The time now is 4:39. You're watching KOIN 6 News.
Up next, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un traveled to China for an historic meeting with China's president. What we know now about this visit.
And how the trade fight between China and the United States could cost local growers of cherries and apples.